world. There are no friends and dust. Tenet.
Holy shit. Are you me from the future? What the hell?
Papa, Sam, wrote us. Tenet. Up, down, right, fucking middle.
You good? You water or anything?
Nolan was onto something, man. Time moves forwards, backwards. It's a closed loop. It's a closed loop. What's up, my dudes and Dunerinos? It's your boy, Raheel, and I'm incredibly excited to discuss Christopher Nolan's latest film, Tenet. Last week, I was incredibly privileged to catch an early screening of the movie, and boy oh boy, what a clusterfuck this movie was to see on screen. Before we begin, I would like to make a brief comment on the current state of American cinemas. At this point, since Corona hit us, I went to iPic, and it was completely empty. I had to wear a mask, we had to sanitize ourselves, and I had to get my temperature checked before I even entered the theater. It was a surreal experience for me as someone who basically grew up watching movies in venues since I was a toddler, and this was the longest I've been without going to see a movie in an actual theater. So I'm glad that I got my fix finally this year. So with that out of the way, Nolan's Tenet is probably his most complex film to comprehend, more so than Inception and Interstellar in my opinion. Tenet follows the adventures of the protagonist, played by John David Washington, after a botched operation in Kiev in which a double agent is killed, plutonium is stolen, and the discovery of inverted bullets has led to the protagonist being killed. However, after killing himself through a cyanide pill, it was discovered that this was all part of the plan, and he's part of an organization called Tenet. His job now is to discover who is the person creating these inverted bullets. Now, what he found out is that these bullets are actually going backwards in time through entropy, and as a result of it, the way that these bullets were created can lead to the continual reversal of time itself, which will lead to the implosion of the universe. So, with this information, the protagonist then goes to Mumbai in search of the arms dealer creating these bullets and stumbles upon Neil, played by Robert Pattinson. Both of them try to disband the whole operation until they find out that the arms dealer isn't actually in Mumbai. The protagonist and Neil then go visit Kat, an art dealer who is married to a Russian arms dealer named Sador. Kat is played by Elizabeth Debicki, and she basically towers over everyone. Her husband's like 5'4" in the movie. It's hilarious shit. But afterwards, they find out that Kat's actually being held hostage through a painting. They then go to an airport where this painting is held, and the whole time reversion is now being played throughout the movie. Hoyt van Hoytema is returning as director of photography, and he does an amazing job with cinematography. I think Dunkirk looks better, but I appreciate the use of handheld and Steadicam footage. I think it has a very unique place in Nolan's filmography, and it's a lot more intense. The set pieces are actually amazing to watch. The beginning opera scene is incredible to see. Given how small scale and minuscule it is for a Nolan film, I feel like the stakes were a lot more higher, and that's what I expected for the rest of the movie. Higher stakes with a bigger picture conflict, but that's unfortunately not what I got, and I was disappointed by it. However, there are a lot more cool things, such as the car chase scene in which John David Washington is both going forwards and backwards, which was really interesting to watch. Nolan specifically said there was zero special effects used when filming this movie. Everything was practical, and that's honestly insane to see. Nolan explained that he shot the action scenes forwards, then backwards, and then composed them in the editing room. And the final result is nuts to see in person. He manipulates time in a way that just embodies pure Nolanism. I think this is his most Nolan film by far. I think the performances are actually great in the movie. A lot of people complain that John David Washington's character doesn't really have a personality and he's just there to do things. I disagree. I think that the audience is supposed to be in place of the protagonist because he's literally called the protagonist. And he does crack some jokes throughout the movie, and there's some pretty funny jokes. So I think that's kind of a misleading statement. Robert Pattinson is definitely the best part, which is unsurprising given that he's quickly becoming one of my favorite actors. Elizabeth Debicki is also great. Kenneth Branagh's character as Sador is very intimidating, and he does a great job as a villain. He hams it up as like a sort of Bond villain, but it works really well. The soundtrack was composed by Ludwig Göransson instead of Hans Zimmer this time around, but wow, I think this is honestly top 3 Nolan soundtracks, better than the majority of Zimmer's work except for Inception and Interstellar in my opinion, and I guess like Dunkirk. It's top 3, definitely top 3. The movie is confusing. It's confusing and it requires multiple rewatches, but I don't think it should be as confusing as it was. There's plenty of ways for Nolan to explain more of the world of Tenet, and I think it would have benefited from an extra 30 minutes. This is already a 2-hour 30-minute movie. I think with a 3-hour runtime, it could have gotten all the information out and it would have been substantially better as a result of it. Now, with that being said, I think there's just, I don't know, it's I have weird feelings about this movie. It's not Nolan's best movie, but it's not his worst. And I appreciate like watching it, but I don't think I'm gonna rewatch it other than the required second viewing, I think. Overall, I still was impressed by Tenet, but I was disappointed. I expected a direct sequel to Inception. I didn't know what to expect walking into this movie, but I'm glad I watched it, but I don't think I'll watch it again, unfortunately. I'm going to give Tenet a 6 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, subscribe. It would mean a lot to me because this is a new channel, but if you think this is some good content, consider donating on Patreon. It will help a lot, and thank you so much. Peace out.